Okay, for some reason I didn't record the last one, so that's kind of annoying because I just filmed that entire video. But yeah, welcome to another trade recap. I took a loss today. It was a very minor loss, about $1,000, just because of how aggressively I trot out my stop. I'll get into that. I do want to cover the trade I took yesterday, though. So yesterday I also took a trade after the trade recap. It was in the PM session, and it was a loss. And I thought it was a really good trade. I would definitely take it again if I saw it again. It was here at 1:30 yesterday. So right as the PM session opened, we formed an SMT with it was this low. I'm not. It was either this low or this low. Um, it doesn't really matter. We formed an SMT here, and then at the time on the higher time frame, this was an OTE. So if you just imagine OTE. Price was in OTE here, and we were bouncing off of a 1 hour fair value gap. So everything I needed to see to take a trade happened, and we obviously got my entry criteria, which was inverse fair value gap and this change in the state of delivery, and I longed. As soon as that happened up here, I got stopped out immediately for 1R, which was really frustrating because I thought this was such a good setup. We left relative equal highs here. These were visible on the 15-minute. We had relative equal highs in proximity in terms of the internal range liquidity, and that aligned perfectly with 50% of this range too, which we never even rebalanced to, which is really frustrating. ES never took this high either, so um, kind of just got, the probabilities just played out, and I happened to take a loss yesterday. So that was the trade there. I thought it was an amazing trade. Today I didn't take anything in AM. I wanted to wait for FOMC, and then here comes FOMC. I didn't really have a bias because we are kind of stuck within this range. Buy side was up here, sell side was down here, and down here. So I wanted to wait for us to sweep some type of liquidity before looking for a trade. And after Jerome Powell stopped speaking around like 240 ish, we sold off instantly, swept out these lows from AM session. And what ended up happening on the hourly was we inversed this fair value gap here, and we put in a change in the state of delivery up here. And that's really all I needed to see to be bearish. So I was bearish towards these lows here, just because of the higher time frame order flow. And then going in on the 1 minute, if I just remove these drawings here, after this massive sell-off, well, not massive, after this massive, I'm just gonna say massive sell-off because that's what it looks like. After this sell-off, I wanted us to retrace to either OTE or 50% to look for a trade, which obviously happened here. And we went up here, went to OTE, and then on the 30-second, we did have an SMT with these highs right here. So NQ swept out these 30-second highs. This is technically a high because it is a swing high. It's just really small in terms of the wicks. Um, we had an SMT here, and then we also put in another SMT. It was really small, but it was up here. So ES had like a wick up here, and then NQ had a lower high. So double SMT, if you will. So that was formed. And then this was getting closer to market close. So I told myself that if I didn't see something before 3:30, I would just get off the charts. And this ended up triggering at 3:26 right here. So we got a change in the state of delivery and an inverse fair value gap here. My stop was at this swing high where the SMT was formed, and my first PT was at this low, and I was going to leave runners to the external lows on the hourly. That was my higher time frame draw. So everything was awesome sauce for like the first 2 minutes. Entered in, boom, big displacement candle. We inversed this 2 minute gap here, and we performed this breaker here also. Constantly disrespecting bullish PD arrays and displacing lower, which is what I wanted to see. After we sweep this internal low, price instantly reverses, retraces to OTE of this range, and forms this second change in the state of delivery up here. So at this point, I trail my stop from up here, 60 points in drawdown, to about 50 points in drawdown was my stop loss. We then continue to sell off, and then we do some shenanigans here. At this point, it was 4 o'clock, so the PM kill zone was over. And at this point, I just thought we're probably just going to chop until Asia, and I probably need to just get out of this trade and just minimize the losses. So I ended up trailing my stop here after we inversed this 2-minute gap. And then I trailed it even more aggressively to this high after this 1-minute gap here got inversed. And then I got stopped out here on this candle. So really interesting trade. I thought it was a great trade in terms of just the signature and price. One thing to reflect on that I will be doing later is just the time of it. I think from now on, I'm just going to avoid taking trades in the PM. I had success with it a few weeks ago, but now it's just like I think I'm just overcomplicating my trading a bit too much, and I think I should simplify it to just taking trades during the AM session. And if I do see something good in PM, then I'll just take it on paper, right, and just log it for data collection purposes until I have more data on PM because I haven't backtested PM. I have backtested AM, and I know the strategy is really profitable in AM. I just don't know if the difference is too big with the PM and whatnot because yesterday's trade looked really great, got stopped out. Today's trade also looked really great, got stopped out. Um, so yeah, and I think there's just a lot of beauty in just keeping things simple, right? You can be really successful just trading one session with one model, and I think I just need to go back to that because that's what got me funded originally. And there's really no need for me to do anything extra after already proving that I am profitable enough to get funded. So that's really the main lesson. It wasn't really about the model. I thought the model was fine. The other thing was just time. This was 30 minutes before close, so that's something to reflect on. But I think it's really mainly just avoiding trades after the AM session. I think I should just stick to that. Because recently I've been stressing myself out a lot. Like just being on the charts a lot. I think it's better just to keep it simple. Trade the AM session. Only take my model during the AM if it presents itself, and do that over a long enough period of time, and I'll be successful. No need to get cute with everything. But yeah, that's really it. Was able to minimize the losses. I'm down a little bit on the week, about break even on the month now, which is really unfortunate. But that's just trading. There's ebbs and flows to it. We're always learning from our mistakes. We're always following our rules, keeping it professional, all that fun jazz. And yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. I only need like 1.5 R to win back all the losses, so I have plenty of time left in the month to do so. And even if I end off the month red, that is completely fine. That's just a part of trading. As long as I manage my risk and I take good setups, that's all that matters. But yeah, that's all there is for today's trade recap. Hope you might have learned something, whoever watches this. And I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.